So I just found out that Steven Spielberg is making the film adaptation of James. And I pray that he does not color purple this movie. What's going on? I'm Adrian Lowe. I read professionally and for fun. If you like the type of content, please be sure to follow me here wherever you're watching this video, but also find me in other places. Let's connect, let's interact, let's talk about books, culture, life, and everything else. Now let's get into this. Okay, call me crazy, but I know The Color Purple is like American cult classic. We love The Color Purple. We love the Whoopi Goldberg version. It is a good movie, undeniably a good movie. I think the scenes in it are powerful. The scene, Harpo, I kill him dead for letting beat me. Like, we all know those lines. It's been reiterated. Every Medea movie is essentially another iteration of The Color Purple. But. And I grew up on The Color Purple. I've seen the musical. I saw the musical adaptation into a film in 23 before I read this book. But once I read this book, I was like, oh, this is a completely distinct project. Like, this book was made for Black women. That movie was made for white people. And maybe not necessarily white people, maybe mass audiences, maybe like the subtle undertone was too, to Black women and that story. But it almost felt like The Color Purple, the book, is written in a way that's so thoughtful and intimate. The relationship between Celie and her sister is an accounting and a telling of grief and loss, because they are essentially grieving the fact that they will never know whether or not they are alive again. Celie and Nettie essentially do not know whether or not they are alive until the end of the book, when Mr. finally has a change of heart and decides to inform her, Celie, that, she's alive and send for her to come back home. And there's the downplaying the relationship between Celie and Suge Avery. There's just so many missing parts. I feel like the dinner scene, the scene where Sophia comes home and it's all amped up and hyped up in the movie to be this big moment about Sophia, but it really kind of misses the mark in relationship and that the significance of it for Celie in the book, and also the absence of Sophia's sisters are small characters in the book, but they do play a bigger role. And also the fact that we don't see Sophia really take care of, or the acknowledgement that she's raising Harpo's new wife's children when she goes off and leaves Squeak's kids. There's just so many parts about Black womanhood and sisterhood and the way in which they show up for each other in the book that I feel like is missed in the movie, that I pray doesn't happen in James. Because we have enough slave movies that are made to make white folks feel okay about slavery. And James and Percival Everett's pen, his ability to be able to really critique American racism and American hatred and call it out in a way that's funny, but also that is historically accurate and also that is informative, I think is really, really poignant in this book, and also just important that that's captured on film in the film adaptation of it. And I know, I love movies, I love books. It's hard sometimes for me to see my favorite books be adapted into movies, because I feel like I have to give grace to the film director, because they are an artist in their own right, and they also are seeking to tell this story of a book rather, but they have to put their own artistic flair on it and make it a bit different. But I do wonder how much and what portions of this story will be watered down or tampered with or changed that will dilute the message that Percival Everett wanted to send out when he wrote James. And I think Percival is very I don't know what his involvement will be in the creation of the movie, but I think there's already an example about the quality and the level of his work and what that kind of impact looks like in American fiction and his supporting novel Erasure, right? Erasure is a heavy novel. The movie American Fiction is closely related to Erasure, but there are a lot of scenes that are tampered down. The whole my pathology, the subplot with that, which is kind of incorporated in the movie as a dream sequence of sorts, is a sub book in the movie. But even the level of like intensity in that book, some of the scenes are omitted. Like there's like a rape scene that's omitted. The way that the sister dies in the movie, she has like a heart attack in the movie. She is murdered because she's a doctor in an abortion clinic in the book. And so it is watered down in some ways. And I hope that in order to maintain the integrity of this book and to maintain the integrity of the story it told and the integrity that it gives James as a character in relationship to Huckleberry Finn, like I also think there's a bit of a stroke of genius in the way that he is able to write a story about a story that is so well known. There's something that's powerful about that, almost like black folks reclaiming the word nigga, right? It's something so powerful about him being able to write this story. It's like reclaiming Jim's story in the book and even giving him a new name of James, right? Giving him his truer name, or a name he can call himself, but to reclaim that story and tell it in a way that honors his humanity and his perspective, I think that has to show up in the movie. And I know that Steven Spielberg is a phenomenal filmmaker. I know that a lot of people love him, but I do pray that some of the themes and some of the ways that Percival really truly, I feel like, writes to black audiences is echoed and not diluted in order to make a movie that is amenable and pleasing to the masses. But that's just my 22 cents. Who knows what the hell they're going to do? I don't have no say so about how they make this movie, but I hope and pray as a lover of the arts that they don't dilute it. But yeah, are y'all going to go see the James movie when it comes out? And also, have you read James? If not, get your hands on this, because this is an amazing book. You need to read it. And read more Percival Everett in general anyways, because he's that guy. He's that guy. But all right, I'll see you next time. Love and light. Peace. Holla.